Good morning. It is the first day of spring. It's pretty grey up here, but I'm going to do a plot tour. So we're just going to have a look at what's going on at the moment because we've got quite a lot different from the February plot tour. So yeah, let's just go and have a look. Yeah, shame it's not beautiful sunshine, but you know, yesterday was gorgeous and I was at work. So I haven't made any progress with this bed yet. I've got to tally up what the vote was, but I think it's going to be D. So we've just been kind of clearing the grass around the bottom of there. And the apple trees are just bursting into life. The leaf mould bin, do you remember I put that up not too long ago, is kind of slowly filling up. So that's making progress. And the lavender have all survived. So that's more than I thought. A couple of them are looking a bit sad, but are you right, girlies? Sorry. No, we are only focused on the netting. Sorry about that. Yeah, so things are really starting to green up and most things are starting to kind of bud and there's life. No action yet with the mulberry tree here, but we kind of got the circle around the bottom and the daffs are down there. Most of the daffs at the bottom of this tree are blind, actually. They don't flower, but never mind. Up here we've got kind of a rescue bench. Some of the things are beyond rescue though. This is a shame. That was an aster from last year. It survived 2 years, but obviously it was so much colder this year. Some tulips looking very ragged. So let's have a look what's happening in the greenhouse first. We have got some poppies coming up here. Accidentally sown when I dropped the side of the packet, so don't know what I'm going to do with them. In here we've got the first of the potatoes, so we've got Red Duke of York and Accord in here, 3 bags of Red Duke and 1 Accord. We're growing all of our potatoes in bags this year, first time. Got a little bit of mixed salad and 2 of the thyme plants, an orange thyme and a normal one that need to go in. Couple of bits and pieces that kind of survived over winter. Last vlog you saw Mum and I were sowing these. It's sorrel and chervil. These are the jalapenos that I'm expecting to burst back into life shortly. Mum's much loved single coriander plant, but look, it's got 2 friends now, so. Out in the cold frame we have got the strawberries. I'm going to talk way more about strawberries in a minute, but we've got the spares in here and the rosemary and the sage which are going into the herb garden. And in the first of the brassica beds from last year, you can see the Cavallonero has totally blown, but we're still eating it. It doesn't make a difference that it's blown or not. It just means that it won't carry on producing. So we're just eating what we can off there. And we've still got the curly kale. This was the dwarf one. I won't be growing dwarf again. I sowed it by accident last year. We like it a bit bigger than that, but it's still producing. Then we have some very raggedy looking Pak Choy, which were from October last year. This is the bed that had the failed kaleettes in it, and we've cleared all of that out now, and I've sown the first 2 rows of carrots. So that's pretty exciting. That was the first bit of direct sow I've done this year actually. And they're going to be right next to these because obviously these tree cabbages are going to last for about 5 years. So they are going to stay in here. And we're currently eating the sprouts, eating these bits. So where it starts to flower, just pick everything off and eat them. You see this little flower head in the middle there. Lovely, lovely. Behind the tree cabbages is the main asparagus bed, and absolutely nothing happening on here yet, and wouldn't expect it to either, but it's looking all right. That had a really good mulch in the autumn. And at the edge here, the garlic chives have really perked up. They were looking incredibly sad a couple of weeks ago, but they're back looking gorgeous. Just across from them, we have the sorrel plants. We just sowed some more, I said, in the greenhouse, but these guys we've had in here for about 4 years now, and they're beautiful lush plants, green all year round, and we eat them in salad and sorrel soup and all sorts. Really good herb to have. So the broad beans. So I've got 2 levels of broad beans. These are the little ones, which are not so little anymore, and these were the ones that went in and I thought they would fail because they were too big, but actually they're looking all right. They look really lush. They did have quite a bit of damage from the frost, more so than I've ever seen broad beans have before. But the problem I've got is, can you see this little tiny hole down here? They've been got by robber bees, and they just make a hole, nick the nectar from the back, and don't bother with the whole pollination bit at the front. But yeah, some of these guys, I've never seen this really happen before. I've seen them go really sad in the cold, but not completely die off like that. But they're lush on top, so that's all right. Yeah, and this is the blackcurrant, which is waiting to go in the fruit cage, but it looks like it's got a bit of big bud. You see how swollen those buds are? It's when there's a mite gets in there and distorts the growth. So I think we might have to pick them off before I plant it out. So the next bed up from the broad beans is the Simity wrapper, and this is mostly finished now. As you can see, it's kind of blown, it's gone to flower. We'll leave this because there's not much around for the bees at the moment. But yeah, it's kind of blown. Can you see how spindly it is? This is what it's meant to look like. There are still some bits that can be picked in here. These kind of flowering sprouts, you chop them off and they're really lush and fat, as opposed to what they're kind of looking like now, which is this, where it's all kind of spindly and not much going on. But that's been really successful this year. Okay, so strawberries. I've moved all the strawberries out of the fruit cage into this bed, and they're just starting to kind of put on some new growth now. So that's positive. They are in the other end of the rhubarb bed. So we've got kind of half rhubarb, half strawberries. And in here is the forced rhubarb, which has been so slow this year. We're going to pick this afternoon and have it for pudding tonight. But yeah, really slow compared to last year. Something else that's new from the last plot tour are these little tiny beds that I've put on the end. I haven't fully fixed them in yet, but this is where we're going to be growing all of our French beans and a chocha up this side this year. I'm quite happy with that. And the 3 beds you can see, the furthest end between here and the fruit cage, that is all field beans. So we've gone quite big this year for field beans, which is a green manure, nitrogen fixer for the soil. And I'm also using them as a kind of test for the manure that we've put on everything, because they have a really clear reaction to aminopyralid. So having a couple of these in each bed as well as in their own beds, I'm hoping is going to kind of give me an early warning system if there's a problem. In the end of this one, we've got some parsley, which is left over from last year, but it's, you know, still going fine. So quite a lot has changed in the fruit cage here. These raspberries along this side are all sort of springing back into life, which is really encouraging. But we had, in front of these guys, we had all of the strawberries in this front section, and I've taken all of them out because the raspberries were spreading much faster and are stronger plants than I thought they were. You can see there's a bit coming up here, which is way over, right in the middle where the strawberries were. So I'm hoping to fill that whole area with raspberries, and we are tying them up like this, so just stringing across the fruit cage so that they're easier to pick. The grapevine is still alive, which is a bit of a bonus, really. I'm so excited about getting grapes off these. Okay, more tree cabbages. These were our original lot, and they too are producing sprouts, so we are eating them as fast as we can at the moment. They are really tender and delicious. More sprouting. We've got purple sprouting broccoli in here. We've only got 2 purple sprouting broccoli plants this year, bizarrely. I don't know why that happened. Normally we've got loads more. I must have given them away or something. But that one is just ready for another picking, and this one we've done 2 pickings off, and just the little ones are starting. But have a look at this piece of glory. This is a white sprouting broccoli, or a sprouting cauliflower, and it's magnificent. It's beautiful. So excited about eating them. And to the side of this, quite interesting, you see how similar this looks to the Simity wrapper that I was saying, or the Chimity wrapper, sorry, down there. Well, these are just turnips that have blown, and that's basically what Chimity wrapper is. Gooseberries have survived their move, which is exciting. So we should be getting a good crop of gooseberries this year. And that's the fruit cage. I mean, once these brassicas are cleared, we'll be able to start putting in the fruit trees. So like the blackcurrant we've got down the end, and I've got a load more ideas of stuff to put in there. But we used it as a brassica cage this year just because it was empty. Coming around the corner, This is the bottom of the apricot tree. We have got so many hyacinths on our plot, and I'm not entirely, like, I don't really remember planting them. I used to work in a garden centre years ago, and whenever things weren't sold, like hyacinths or whatever went over, I used to take them home and just dump them in here. But look at this. So the apricot is magnificent. It looks so beautiful. I've been doing a bit of hand pollinating because I haven't seen a huge amount of things flying around, but I did see a couple of bees on there today. I love this tree so much. Next to it we've got a little rose, which has just also got new growth on there. I really like the new growth on the roses when they're this kind of like rusty red colour. I've got this Erismium bulbs mauve as well, actually, which I really need to take cuttings off. They don't last that long, and that one's kind of come to the end of its life, but I need to take some cuttings. Another little bulb garden underneath the fig. We got some muscari in there, and obviously more hyacinths, and really quite a wide range of daffs in here. Actually, we've got those ones, and we've got kind of traditional. We've got these ones which got really kind of prominent long trumpet. A couple of tets at the bottom. We've also got some, I think these are canaliculatus, but they look really tall, so they mustn't be. There must be some other chap, but they smell incredible. Been eaten by slugs. Lovely. So this is all under the fig tree, and I've already taken off all the crossing branches that were coming out of the bottom, but I'm going to be chopping these ends of each of these branches off because we don't really want this tree to get that much bigger, and these ends are kind of dead, so I'm going to just take each one down to where it's starting and got some really good strong growth. So I'll be doing that this week too. Yeah, so it is, despite the weather, it is looking pretty spring-like, isn't it? So if I do a rundown of the beds at this end, this is the lettuce bed. These radicchio, I've been picking out the hearts of them, and this one's just starting to produce another heart there. Yeah, coming up. They're a great colour, aren't they? Across the rest of this bed, we've got celery leaf and a bit of endive. This is the Sambucus, so it's a black elder. I'm really excited about making pink elderflower cordial and elderflower champagne, and on top of that this year I'm going to make my own Sambuca, which I'm pretty excited about. And this poor thyme, I mean really, I don't know how it happened. We moved it from around the pond because it didn't have enough space, and then managed to plant it with a load of oxeye daisies, but I'll move it again. So we're up at the top with the compost, and this is the leaf bin mould. This is the more full of the two that I've got, and it's just starting to rot down. And this is last year's compost, which we have started sieving and using, and it looks really, really good. Black gold. The new pear tree from last year, this is a conference pear coming into life. Also got a load of daffs around the bottom. And look at that. Is that not just the loveliest thing? Also got some around the bottom of the new cherry tree. This is also showing signs of life, which is mighty encouraging. Always fret about like the first couple of years when you've put a tree in. So buddleia responded really nicely, as they do, to having a really good chop back. We've got loads of bits and pieces coming along in here. There's a little self-seeded viola down here, very cute. And the red currant, which is kind of sacrificial for the birds, is coming back to life. So this pond area, this is where like a lot of changes are going to happen this year, and I'm pretty excited about them. Oh, we've got Cali poppies, looking good. Those have got a bit of couch grass in it. So this is a gunnera, and really worried about it in the frost, but look, it's all greening up at the bottom, so that's pretty positive. These are the 2 posts that I've put in so far. So there's going to be 4 of these along here, and I will be putting featherboard across them. Not totally, so they won't be totally blocked out, but then I'm going to grow, I'm not sure about whether it's going to be a Trachleospermum or a honeysuckle, but we'll get something up there that's going to be really strong and evergreen, and get some nest boxes in there. And everything else is looking really good. Stuff's coming back to life in the pond. This is a bit difficult to film, I'm sorry, but that's the water lily, which is looking really happy. And the flag irises, loads of new growth on them, which is exciting. Got some leucanthemum around here, which are those big beautiful white daisies, and the crocosmia is coming back. I need to scratch out some of that thatch actually. And this area around this side is all going to be kind of just left for wild. This is a pot of comfrey that I need to find a home for. And this is going to be all wildflowers, the wild fleur garden for our chicken that we lost this year. We've also got a goldenrod in here, which is going to be absolutely magnificent for cut flower. And they get really, really tall, so it's going to come kind of in a column shape all the way up the side of this shed. Beautiful. Blackcurrant sage has survived that pretty nippy winter we've had. More hyacinths. We just got loads of them. They have multiplied like en masse. There's so many more than we planted, but they smell amazing and they just look glorious at this time of year. Cox's orange pippin is budding, which is enormously pleasing. Got a load of tiny little allium bulbs in here. Got a whole mix of stuff in here actually that the last couple of years we haven't been able to see too well because it's been really clogged with weeds, but this year we've been really careful, so I'm hoping it's going to look great. Chives that I transplanted a couple of weeks back are looking strong. Back up the other end, so if you watched the vlog from last week you would have seen I sowed some pre-sprouted peas in here. They haven't come up yet, but yeah, I'm fully confident that they will. The rest of this bed I'm going to put Monge 2 at the other end, but in the middle I've got a whole load of Pak Choy, which I'll show you there at home. I've got a whole load of Pak Choy to go in and some beetroot. So I want kind of low growing stuff in the middle. Next bed over we have got tulips en masse. This is the Dahlia bed. So we've got about 9-10 dahlias in here, and I've underplanted them all with these tulips. And can you see they're just starting to come up. We got a bit of a problem that things keep just digging in here because it had such a thick layer of mulch. They keep kind of being covered up, but you know, it's not the end of the world. Look at those gorgeous pink rims. Yeah, I'm so looking forward to them coming out. It's going to be magical. Another bed of field beans. This one hasn't been mulched yet actually, so I'm quite interested to see when we mulch it what happens to those. They're coming along beautifully. I'll put all the links to where I got my field beans from because it's not too late to plant them if you wanted to. This is the bed that we had the parsnips in, which I've recently just dug all the remnants of them out. And then we've got celery at this end. I don't know what you do with celery if it survives more than 1 year. Does it survive more than 1 year? I mean, will it grow again? And then we got celeriac. Celeriac soup it is. And a couple of wide leaf rocket plants in there doing well. We've got a load of spinach in here. I'm not sure how well it's going to go, but we do just give it to the chickens anyway, and I've got the carrot root fly box resting on it. Yeah, it's not on there for any other reason than to keep the pigeons off the spinach. It doesn't need enviromesh, it's just what I've got on there. Like this one, for the same reason, we've got just normal black netting over. These are all like chard plants, which we've been stripping regularly, so they look a bit sad. But these guys look amazing. So this is the shallots and garlic in this bed. And shallots, you can see they're starting to like split in there, which is exciting. And they look really lush. Pretty pleased with them. I love the colour of those shallots. They're so vibrant. Okay, I'm just going to fight my way inside the covered bed now. Sorry. Okay, we're in. Look how lush it is in here. It's incredible. These are the lettuces I planted out last week. A couple of them have been got by slugs, but I think they'll recover. And those at the back there are turnips. And there's a bit of chard in there and some beetroot, and then there's chicory at the far end. Really pleased with how that's gone this year. Okay, while we're on the theme of covered beds, let's have a look inside of the poly. So this was our first year of growing inside the poly over winter, or over summer in fact. But it's done an amazing job, but only for some things. So like the chard has been incredible. Look at this stuff. This is Lucida's chard. Just lush and beautiful. Lettuces, not such a success. I planted loads of them in here and we've actually only got 2 because they rotted off. It's too humid. Parsley's loving it. No worries there. This is a mystery crop. I don't know what it is. Lost the label on that and I don't recognise it. So if anybody knows what it is, I think it's some sort of Asian cress. Lamb's lettuce, loves it in here. Pak Choy, The green ones, the plain green ones, really successful. The red ones have all bolted, but I think that was to do with the fact that I left them in their little pots too long at the beginning. So next year I'm going to direct sow straight into here. This is the American spinach, just starting to come into its own now. It's kind of sat doing nothing for the whole of the winter, and now it's just bursting into life, which is exciting. More lamb's lettuce. You can see how lush it is. It really enjoys the humidity in here. And along this side, we've got all the rainbow chard. This stuff was transplanted so many times last year. I kept planting it in the wrong place. But now look at that. It's getting some really big, beefy leaves. So yeah, chard, really successful in here. But like I say, lettuces, not so much. This is the only other lettuce that survived the humidity. I mean, once they've established, they look really strong. These are some blown chicory plants. Not so good. But look at that colour. I know everybody grows rainbow chard, and you know, but I still find it just incredible. You can see how like low the soil is in here. It's not even half depth. So we're going to, as soon as this beautiful array of greenery is over, we're going to top it right up before we put any of the tomatoes, aubergines or chilies in here. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how it's grown. Look at that, lush. And just outside the shed, my Achivia Coronata is just starting to bud up to flower, which is pretty excited. This is also called a chocolate vine because the flowers, they say they smell like chocolate. They don't really smell like chocolate to me. They smell like really cheap chocolate. You know, like the ones you get in penny sweet stores that isn't really chocolate, it's like wax. But still nice. My jasmine is starting to spring back to life after being really harrowed by that frost. And the clematis is looking lush. So that's all really good. Even the actinidia is springing back to life, so it's all good. Yeah, so first day of spring, that's where we stand, chaps. I'm going to take you home now and show you what we've got in the seedling department. Excuse the state of my bedroom. I'm decorating at the moment. So chilies and peppers. Looking really strong. I'm really happy, remembering I don't have any grow lights. Things are looking really great. We've got cosmos in there and more chilies and these are basically all chilies and peppers up here, and tomatoes in the corner. Looking good. A couple of them are really strong. Some of them are a bit slower growing and they're all ready to be potted up, so I'm going to be doing that this afternoon. But they look happy enough. I'm pretty pleased with them. Look at this one. This one looks like it's impersonating an orchid. Yes, I'm going to get all of them in this afternoon, and the rest of these are looking great. But look at the chaos that they're in. Like, I just ripped everything out of my room and I'm paneling it, so it's just, yeah, a state. Let's go downstairs. Okay, downstairs. This is much colder than my bedroom, which is why we've got kind of them split. But up here we have got kohlrabi. Looking nice. And then we've got some parsley here, which is ready to go out. We've got Pak Choy, which is also ready to go out. Various bits and pieces. There's cauliflowers and stuff in here. We've got chives, leeks, spring onions down here. And these are a mixture of kohlrabi and cavolo nero and some kale. Coming on pretty good. Just over here, I've got my kiwi, which is still alive, which is more than I thought it would be. So I'm quite excited about that. I've got to pot it up and give it a really good feed. And another thing I've got to feed is the lemon tree, but it's starting to produce lemons again. So yeah, happy rabbit. Yeah, so I'm behind on my sewing. I don't have as many things in trays as I thought I would by now, but things have been completely hectic. As you've seen what I've done to my room, I'm just like sleeping in a pile of sawdust and chaos. And also going back to work has been way more, sounds silly to say it's been way more work than I was expecting, but it has been way more work than I was expecting. And also because I'm now riding my bike, which I'm going to tell you all about in the vlog this week because I'm pretty amazed with myself. I am now riding a bike, which takes an hour and a half to get there and an hour and a half to get back, which kind of takes an extra 3 hours out of my day. which is 3 hours that like in the summer when you can come back. I mean, it's not a problem. Anyway, I'm rambling. This afternoon I'm going to be sowing beetroot and chard and all of these kind of things, so I'm going to get on that this afternoon. And now I'm going to upload this video up to YouTube so it comes out this afternoon, and then I'm going up to the allotment now and I'm going to actually just get on with some work rather than just walking around and talking about stuff, because that's no use to anybody. All right, yeah, happy Saturday, happy spring, and I'll see you on Tuesday.